Hey YouTube, this is a video on I wanted to make on a topic that was kind of affected me a lot. Being in the Marine Corps at an early age, I went to the Marine Corps in 1981 and did my 4 years and basically got out. And then I went back in and did 3 more years in the Navy Reserves, uh, and then I got out, and then I went on to be an electrician. But what I wanted to talk about here is something that is kind of a hot topic. I don't know if it's a hot topic, but a lot of people are starting to talk about this stuff, as far as like the whole smoking thing. Cigarettes, with veterans who smoke, and so there's a big push now with the VA administration to basically get people to stop smoking. It's like whatever you do, don't smoke because smoking kills, and which is true. But I wanted to talk about why is it that so many veterans do smoke, or did smoke. Actually, I'm in North Carolina, and I've noticed that there are so many people that smoke here. Now, um, you can't go anywhere without seeing somebody lighting up, and I was part of that type those people that smoked for years, and I picked it up in the Marine Corps um, at 18 years old. So I finally figured out. I'm 56 now, and I finally decided I've had enough. I can't do this anymore. It's going to kill me. These cigarettes are just they're nothing but torture, and the reality is they really are. So as of right now, I'm over 100 days smoke free, no cigarettes at all. But I was thinking about why do so many jarheads or veterans in general, why do they smoke? And for me, I honestly think it's because back in the day when I was, 17, 18, 20 years old, whatever, it seemed like just about everybody either smoked or they did snuff, or not snuff, I mean, chewing tobacco, whatever. Snuff's those stuff you kind of stick in your nose, it burns your nose and stuff, so. Um, but chewing tobacco, stuff like Copenhagen, which Copenhagen's been around since I mean, when I was in, that's almost 40 years ago that I went in, and it's still sold today. I think back in the day, chewing tobacco it cost $1 a can. When I was in the Marine Corps. But the thing is that so now I noticed that the generation of of people like me, now we're starting to have health issues. Tail end baby boomers, stuff like those type of people, starting to have some health issues, and it's all the veterans. It's all related to back in the. It's all relates back to smoking. Every time you go into the doctor at the VA, they're always going to ask you if you smoke. But if I think back to the 90s, especially like when I first joined the military, I remember that um, one of the type of rites of passage, once you get your duty station, was to basically um, go to the club, so you would go to like the bar or whatever, um, and then it was like it was just naturally you're expected to drink. And I can't even tell you that I think everybody in my whole where I worked, and I was first stationed in Japan, every one of us smoked. You know what I mean? I mean, we're only like 20 years old, but we all smoked like every day. You know what I mean? Like a pack a day. And it all started in the military. So, um, it wasn't like, I mean, you have a choice, but that is the main reason I think why so many uh, of us smoked is because we were so young and impressionable when we went in, and a lot of times people that smoked were like, say, the master chiefs, of the Navy or the gunnery sergeants in the Marine Corps. If you're in the Army, there's sergeants there. So they were kind of like the ones that you looked up to, because they're your mentors. If you see them sitting at a bar and they're friggin' toking on a cigarette, you know, you're expected to start, like smoke, expected to smoke. They offer you a smoke, you smoke, Um, and now that you have a lot of people having problems, now you see the VA saying how bad smoking is for you and all this other stuff, and how they want to get you to quit smoking and all that stuff, which is good, but it's kind of like okay, well, you know, you ended up hooked on cigarettes when you went in the service, and even now, I mean, I can see it. You see videos of people, military guys or women, whatever, smoking still, So, but now they're saying that smoking's, it's killing everybody, and they want to do everything they can to stop you from smoking. Well, the problem is that if somebody has smoked for 30 years, I mean, the damage is kind of done. I mean, it's if you can quit smoking, that's great. But I've met a lot of people in my travels out here, fishing these lakes out here. I might end up in some random dock, fishing out the bank or something like that. And there's a lot of veterans out here. I'm in North Carolina. There's a ton of veterans out here, like a million. I don't know, a million. There's a lot. I mean, there's over 500,000 veterans in the state, from what I hear. That's a lot, and a lot of them smoke, and because it's very slow out here. The It's not real. I'm from California originally, but out here, it's very easy to just kind of get into this kind of low key, you know, hang out. Nothing's pressing. Nobody moves real fast. Whereas in San Diego, it's like you got to move so fast, you don't have time to smoke. Especially as working as an electrician, I was always on the go. But for me personally, it suits me better out here at this stage of my life, being almost 60 years old, which I never thought I'd get to. But I do find it kind of fascinating that so many people, so many veterans that live out here are still smoking. Um, and I guess I would say that it's kind of a lifestyle, and it's very strange because this is a huge medical community out here, but you have so many people in ill health. And I don't know if it's because it gets so hot here or it's like kind of boring. It's not the most exciting state in the country. But you have a lot of people that are smoking, and a lot of people are dying from cancer and stuff at the local hospitals, and so you don't want to be a part of that. But I thought I would put this out there just to maybe get some feedback on some other veterans from other veterans or whatever. If you're a civilian person that worked around veterans, or maybe you experience, maybe you kind of saw that, wow, look, it's kind of strange everybody's smoking. But I do see that a lot out here. I'm very thankful that I did manage to quit. I don't know how I really did it. I think I just told myself that it was time. It was time to just say, freaking done with that. And and I think it was time to basically, kind of change my thinking, um, instead of just accepting things as they are, which you find a lot of people saying, well, that's just the way it is. I don't think that really. I don't think that's true. I think you can pretty much do anything you want to do, but I do think that cigarette smoking is this one big huge brainwash, and I was brainwashed for many years, smoking, and then wondering why I'm doing it, and then at the same time having your kid come home and looking at you smoking. So, um, so as far as like the military goes, I think the government tries to do all they can to try to get people to stop smoking with all these ads and stuff. But another thing I realized is that can't force a person to quit smoking. Um, the person has to say to themselves, "I'm done." You know what I mean? Yeah, I finally get to a point and say, "You know what? I've had it. I don't want to do this anymore. I want to spend the money making other people rich and making me sicker, um, and it wastes time. Smell like crap all the time. It costs a lot of money. So the reason I quit. Um, and I was wondering if maybe some other people out there might have had the same story. Kind of wondering where their addiction came from with cigarettes, um, and and how it affected you after the service. I mean, did you go in the service and did you smoke in the service and then get out and quit? In my experience from guys I've met, and for me personally, uh, that was a habit picked up in the military that's just gone, that just went overboard. Um, and on the one hand, I don't think that any of us, if you picked it up, cigarette smoking in the military, I don't think I don't think it should open. It should You should be allowed any type of. Uh, I don't think. I mean, it's a choice. I don't think it's really something that should be compensated for or anything like that, because I mean, it's a choice. Now, on the other hand, you also have the Camp Lejeune water contamination thing that happened here in the state, North Carolina, and that is a bit interesting. I was actually stationed there in 1984 and 85 when the water contamination was probably at its one of its highest peaks back in the 80s at Camp Lejeune. So, but even that there, I mean, they're not really financially compensating anybody unless you've got cancer and you're basically on your deathbed. And that would be kind of seems like they're more like saying, well, if you're dying, maybe we may compensate you or your family, because they might depend on you for an income or what have you. So, um, but that's all I really wanted to talk about. And maybe if some other people had some any kind of feedback on that. Maybe you had a problem with the cigarettes and then you kind of wondered over the years, where did I pick this habit up? And how long have I been smoking? So if you got any comments, that'd be nice if you could leave a comment on your experience with smoking in the military, or even if you're a dependent wife, whatever, of somebody that was in the military and they smoked, or you picked up smoking. I think it's a bigger problem than a lot of people know. Um, and it still continues to kill 500,000 people a year. So, all right, that's all I really want to talk about. Thanks for watching.